The stars above the Academy of Unified Warfare shimmered like scattered diamonds across the obsidian void. Nestled in the central combat hall, the air was thick with anticipation. Instructor Varak'Thul stood at the front of the assembled cadets, his massive four-armed frame casting a long shadow. He was a Krixian, a species renowned for their raw physical power and disciplined warfare. His obsidian skin gleamed under the lights as he surveyed the class with barely concealed disdain. Today, his deep voice rumbled like grinding stones. We move from theory to practice, close quarters combat. The true test of a warrior is not in the distance of a plasma bolt, but in the moment when your enemy is close enough to taste your fear. His three glowing eyes settled on the back row, where the newest cadets stood. Among them was a single human, Cadet Elias Kane. Varak'Thul called, the translator implant turning his words into crisp galactic common. Step forward. The rest of you have seen what my people can do. Now let us see what your fragile species offers. A ripple of amusement passed through the alien cadets. The slender Sylvani with their iridescent wings tittered softly. The hulking Gromathai pounded their fists in mockery. Humans were still new to the galactic stage. Small, soft-skinned, painfully average. Most species viewed them as charity cases, allowed into the academy only because of their stubborn persistence and surprisingly advanced engineering. Elias Kane walked to the center of the mat. He was neither tall nor imposing. Average height, average build, with calm gray eyes and the quiet confidence of someone who had grown up in the dust of old Earth battlefields. He wore the standard gray academy uniform, sleeves rolled up to his elbows. Varak'Thul gestured to a reinforced training desk at the side of the arena. It was made of compressed durasteel and reinforced polymer, designed to withstand the impact of power-armored warriors. Demonstrate your close combat technique. Use the desk as your target. Show us how humans fight when they cannot run. The Krixian's tone dripped with condescension. Elias looked at the desk, then back at the instructor. Sir, are you sure? This is for demonstration only, right? Laughter erupted from the cadets. Varak'Thul crossed two of his massive arms. Do not waste our time with questions, human. Strike. Elias, then he moved. The first punch was a blur. His fist connected with the center of the durasteel desk with a sound like a thunderclap. The material cracked. Not chipped, not dented, cracked. A second punch followed immediately, driven from the hips with terrifying efficiency. The desk shattered. Shards of reinforced polymer exploded outward as the entire structure collapsed in on itself with a metallic scream. Dust and fragments rained across the training floor. Silence swallowed the hall. Elias straightened, shaking out his hand casually. A small cut on his knuckle bled, but he didn't seem to notice. Sorry about the desk, sir. I held back. Varak'Thul stared at the wreckage, all four arms frozen in shock. The Krixian had personally tested that desk last cycle. It had taken him 3 full power strikes with his reinforced gauntlets to even mark it. One of the Sylvani cadets whispered, "Impossible. Their bones should have splintered." Elias turned to the instructor. "Permission to demonstrate properly, sir?" Varak'Thul's glowing eyes narrowed, but something had shifted in his posture. The mockery was gone. "Explain yourself, human." Elias spoke calmly, his voice carrying across the stunned hall. "We're not as strong as you, sir. Not as fast as the Sylvani. Not as durable as the Gromathai. But we've spent our entire history fighting. On our world, we fought each other. We fought nature. We fought when we had nothing but sticks and rocks and rage. Evolution didn't give us claws or armor, so we learned how to hit harder than we should." He walked over to another training dummy, this one made of solid impact gel designed to simulate armored opponents. "May I?" At Varak'Thul's silent nod, Elias attacked. What followed wasn't elegant. It wasn't beautiful. It was brutal, economical, and terrifyingly efficient. Every strike carried the weight of 10,000 years of human desperation. He dismantled the dummy with ruthless precision. Elbows, knees, palms, even his forehead when the angle demanded it. The gel split open. Internal supports snapped. When he finished, the dummy looked like it had been fed through an industrial shredder. He was breathing harder now, sweat beading on his brow, but his eyes burned with something ancient. Varak'Thul stepped closer, towering over the human. You should not be able to do that. Your species lacks the muscle density. Your skeletal structure is inferior. Elias looked up at the massive instructor without fear. You're right, but we've never let should stop us. On Earth, we have stories about people lifting cars off trapped children, running on broken legs to save their families, fighting through pain that would kill most species. We call it adrenaline. We call it will. You can measure our bones and our blood and our muscles all you want, but you can't measure what happens when a human decides something must be done. The hall remained deathly quiet. A young Gramathai cadet finally spoke, his voice almost reverent. Then why do you look so ordinary? Elias smiled faintly. Because we don't need to look like monsters to become them when it matters. Instructor Varak'Thul slowly lowered all 4 arms. The arrogance that had defined him moments ago had crumbled like the desk. For the first time in his long career, he looked at a cadet with something approaching respect. I have trained warriors who could shatter mountains, he said quietly, but none of them carried the weight of their entire history in a single punch. None of them fought like the fate of their species depended on every strike. He placed one massive hand on Elias's shoulder, careful not to crush it. Class dismissed. Cadet Kane remained behind. I believe I have much to learn from you. As the other cadets filed out, whispering in awe, Varak'Thul looked at the shattered remains of the desk, then at the human who had done it with nothing but flesh and bone and stubbornness. And for the first time, the galaxy understood what it truly meant to be human. If the story moved you, subscribe for more human stories from the stars.